Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon. I am Cecilia Nugrahini from Parahyangan Catholic University, Bandung, Indonesia. I hope you can hear my voice clearly. I am very happy to have the opportunity to present this paper, titled A Genetic Programming-Based Hyper-Heuristic for Production Scheduling Problem in Apparel Industry. This paper is written by me and my colleagues, Mrs. Luciana Beteko and Mrs. Maria Widyarini. So this is the outline of my presentation. First, in introduction part, I will explain about background or the motivation of this work. And in the methods part, I will present the methodology used in this research, including some theory, the proposed algorithm, the implementation, and some experiments. The third part discusses the experiment result, and at last some conclusion will be given. I begin with the introduction part. Scheduling is understood as an activity of allocating available resources to run a set of jobs to achieve a particular goal within a certain period. Scheduling problem is also found in the manufacturing industry, for example, textile industry. In general, the textile industry can be divided into two major segments, namely the textile industry and the apparel industry. The production of fabric from raw materials is done through a series of processes such as spinning, weaving, knitting, and etc. These processes are the focus of the textile industry. Meanwhile, the apparel industry transforms fabrics into ready-to-use goods, in particular ready-to-wear clothes. The activities that belong to the apparel industry are pattern making, cutting, sewing, and finishing. Based on the flow of work activity, the production system of the apparel industry is usually included in the flow shop production or job shop production group. Job shop is a type of production process flow that is used for producing goods with small production quantities but have many models or variants. Custom-made products that have to follow the unique design and special specification of the customer at a specified time and cost usually use this type of production process flow. Flow shop production is a type of production process that is used to produce products that are assembled or produced in large quantities and successfully or continuously. All products are manufactured with the same standard and processes. Our work focuses on flow shop scheduling problems, or we call FSSP. Given M machines and N jobs to be processed on each machine, the objective of the FSSP is to find job sequences that meet certain optimality objectives. In the study, the objective used is maxspan, which is the time needed to process the entire job starting from the first job in the first machine to the final time of processing the last job on the last machine. It is assumed that at each stage, there is only one machine provided for processing the jobs. As illustration, I will give a small example here. Assume there are 3 jobs, G1, G2, and G3, that will be processed by 5 machines, M1, M2, M3, M4, and M5. The time needed for processing each jobs by each machine are given in the table. This is an FSSP problem with the objective is to find the ordering or sequence job with the smallest total processing time. There are many approaches for generating this job ordering. People usually use dispatching rules such as first in, first out, last in, first out, shortest processing time, longest processing time, and etc. If we use the first in, first out principle, the ordering job is G1, G2, and G3. And the total time needed or the max span is 42 time units. Let's take another job ordering. If now we use the last in, first out principle, then the job ordering becomes J3, J2, and J1. and the mix span is 38 time units. Besides dispatching rules, there are some algorithms that can be used for solving FSSP. Two of them are Palmer algorithm and Gupta algorithm. Both algorithms use the similar principle in producing the job sequence. The ordering is based on a value or slope index. Each algorithm consists of two steps, which are counting the slope, and the second part is the ordering of the jobs based on the slope. This is the formula for counting the slope according to Palmer algorithm, and the one is according to Gupta algorithm. The job ordering resulted by Palmer algorithm is G3, 1, and 2, and the mix span is 36 time units. Meanwhile, the job ordering resulted by Gupta algorithm is 3, 2, 1. This is the same with the last inverse of, with mix span is 38 time units. Now I will explain about the heuristics. Generally, there are many approaches proposed for FSSP problem that are based on heuristic techniques. There are three types of heuristics. The first type is called low-level heuristic, such as standard dispatching rules, and several algorithms, such as Palmer and Gupta algorithm. The second type is meta-heuristics, such as genetic algorithm, simulated annealing, and colony, and etc. And the last type is hyper-heuristics, such as genetic programming. Different from the other heuristics, hyper-heuristic does not work directly on the problem domains, rather on the heuristics. This is why hyper-heuristic is usually called heuristic to choose heuristic. This characteristic enables hyper-heuristic to do the searching in a more flexible way. And also, hyper-heuristics offers the ease of application to a larger scope of problems. In our previous work, we proposed a technique for solving FSSP problem, which is a hyper-heuristic-based genetic programming. The main idea of the technique is to generate new low-level heuristic by combining two low-level heuristic, namely Palmer algorithm and Gupta algorithm, with the use of genetic programming technique. The combination of two algorithms has been not reported before. Continuing the work, we have developed a program that implements the proposed techniques. This paper reports the implementation as well as the result of experiments conducted for measuring its performance. We follow a standard methodology which consists of literature study, model development, implementation, experiments, and conclusion. And now I continue with the methods. I will explain briefly the genetic programming. I assume that everybody here is quite familiar with genetic algorithm. Genetic programming uses the same idea as the genetic algorithm. It is inspired by Darwin's theory of evolution. The difference between genetic programming and genetic algorithm lies in the role of the chromosomes. In genetic programming, a chromosome represents a computer program or a function that can be used to find solutions to the problems. For example, these are two syntax trees representing two functions which are x minus 2, and this one is x divided by 5 plus y. And this is the illustration of crossover operation and mutation operation. For instance, these trees are the parents. This is the cross point, and these trees are the offsprings resulted by the crossover operation over these parents. For mutation operation, a randomly generated subtree will replace the part of original tree based on a mutation point. And this is the proposed algorithm we call GPHH FSSP, genetic programming hyper-heuristic for flowchart scheduling problem. Yeah. There are some parameters used here, and the algorithm consists of three steps. The first step of the algorithm is the generation of a pool of computer programs based on ops and OPRs, which are a set of operands and a set of operators. Two parameters are used in this stage, namely depth, that represent the depth of program syntax trees, and pool size represent the size of the pool on the number of generated programs. The second step is a loop or iteration that consisting of three steps also. The first step is create the initial population with the size of the population is pop size by randomly picking computer programs in the program pool. The second step is another loop from 1 to maximum generation. This part is similar to the genetic algorithm, which I use the genetic operator, and the algorithm will return the schedule, the job ordering, and the mix span corresponding to the job ordering. We have implemented GPHS FSSP and a computer program. We assume that the set of the operands and the operators are fixed, which are, this is for the apps, P, G, 1, and 2. And for the operators, plus, minus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And the symbol P is used to represent the slope index of Palmer algorithm, and the symbol G is used to represent the slope index of Gupta algorithm. These are some examples of the user interface of our program. The user can choose an FSSP problem by pushing this button. The problem is in a file text, and after pushing this button, the program will display the problems in this table. The user can change the parameter FC, or he wants to do that. And to find the solution, just push this button. This is the result produced by the program. There are three parts. The first one is the result by applying Gupta algorithm. The second part is the result by applying Palmer algorithm. And this one is by applying GPHH FSSP algorithm. Using the program, we conducted some experiment. We used tailored benchmarks for the experiment. This benchmark provides a number of scheduling problems grouped by the number of jobs and machines as shown in this table. Each group consists of 10 problem instances, so in total there are 120 problem instances. The experiments aim to compare the mix span generated by the GPHS algorithm with the mix span produced by the Palmer algorithm and Gupta algorithm, and to know the effect of the crossover rate and the depth of syntax trees on the resulting mix span. As parameter setting, experiments were carried out with different crossover rate, which are 75%, 80%, and 85%. The rate of the mutation operation is set to 5%. And for each crossover rate, we have used three depth values of syntax trees, which are 2, 3, and 4. The values for the rest parameters are fixed, namely for maximum run is 50, maximum generation is 10, pool size 250, and population size is 200. And now the results. The results of the experiments are given in some figure here. This is the result for crossover 75%. Each figure here representing the result for each problem instance group. This is for 80% for crossover rate. And the last one is for 85% for crossover rate. From the experiment result, it can be concluded that in general, GPHH produces better mixed plan compared to Palmer algorithm and Gupta algorithm. The worst performance of GPHH occurred in the case of 500 jobs and 20 machines. It can be seen that for the 3 experiments, GPHH takes the last position. Whether cases with many large jobs will reduce the performance of GPHH still needs to be further analyzed and tested. In terms of the depth of the syntax trees, from this figure, it can be seen that the three depth values show results that are not too different one to another. Yeah. However, from the total average max span, the value 3 yields the best result compared to values 2 and 4. So, and as conclusion, scheduling problems in the textile industry in general belong to the flow shop scheduling problem. Given a set of machines and a set of jobs, the objective of FSSP is to find a job ordering that meets some optimization criteria. In this work, a computer program that can be used to solve FSSP has been developed. This program implements the GPHH algorithm, which is genetic programming-based hyper-heuristic for solving FSSP proposed in our previous work. The experiment results show that the GPHH algorithm is promising. It means that this algorithm has better performance than the 2 basic heuristics used, namely Palmer algorithm and Gupta algorithm. Right now we are working for the extend this topic. Now we are working with the multi-objective flow shop scheduling problem. So this is the last slide for me. This is the references we use, and this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Questions and comments are very welcome.